Hey everyone, welcome back to the live. I'm Allegra Jackson, the marketing medulla, as well as the founder of Women into Networking WIN. I have a special guest again today, and you guys have met Lorri before. She's doing a fundraiser with us at WIN, and she sent us some amazing bottles. So we're going to do our first Winedown WIN Wednesday for you guys, where we just taste the wines from ONEHOPE. Lorri has provided some information for us about these wines. We're going to talk about the wines here as well as taste them for you. So that way you guys have an idea of what these wines taste like. I don't mind doing that for you guys. And if you and if you're a wine lover like me, then you will appreciate, hearing about, the balance in the body and anything that we talk about here. I'm very honest. And then Lorri will educate you guys. So if you have questions, you can drop them in the chats. And also, this is a time for us to reflect and renew our minds as well. We're going to talk about some personal things that I think we experience in our lives and in business. And Lorri, we can do a little deep dive with her since this is one of our first, kind of seeing more of the behind the brand with Lorri. So we're going to get to know her more as well. But before I open up this bottle, Lorri, can you please introduce yourself to everyone?
Sure. So my name is Lorri Kipnis. I am in New Jersey. For those, since you realize I am not in Atlanta with Allegra, but I'm in Central Jersey. I have been a ONEHOPE wine rep for about 4 years now. Prior to that, I was in pharmaceutical sales. That was the career I retired from. I ended up getting into ONEHOPE because I retired to help take care of my mom who has Alzheimer's dementia and needed a little bit more of my time and attention. And at the time I was looking for something I could do to sort of pay forward the fact that I was fortunate enough to be able to give my mother the time she needs. And I found ONEHOPE, and I love their message and their mission. If you look and see anything about us online, you'll see that ONEHOPE's basically tagline is share wine, give hope. Everything we sell supports nonprofits. And we've been in business now. It's a Napa Valley winery. We've been around 17 years and have donated over $11 million to 50,000 nonprofits worldwide. And I'm so excited that we're adding WIN to the list.
I'm excited too. I'm excited because I get to experience this. And thank you for just blessing us with all of the beautiful things you do. I know that you have shown us your passion behind the brand and why you partnered with them, basically, because you speak so many volumes. And I've learned so much just from having conversations with you about the wine. So I appreciate that. Guys, listen. As you are watching, and I'm going to start asking some questions in a moment, but Lorri, can you first tell us about the ONEHOPE Cabernet Sauvignon?
Okay.
Yeah, I love Cabernet Sauvignon. Y'all let me know what y'all feel about
that. All right, so what you have there is our Vintner Cabernet. So we do have several different Cabernets. That is part of our Vintner collection, which I like to tell people, I kind of look at our Vintner collection as sort of almost like our house wines. We have a Vintner Cabernet. I happen to have here our Vintner Sparkling Brut. We have a Chardonnay, Sauvignon Blanc. We have Pinot Grigio. We have a little bit of everything in the Vintner collection. That's the great starting point of ONEHOPE. But we do have a lot of reserve Cabernets going on up, but it is a off dry cab. It's medium bodied. But it's got that bold. It's bold and balanced. You're probably going to taste some dark berries, some toffee, and maybe some hints of vanilla. I'll be honest, I'm not that good with tasting. I don't taste all those things. My palate's not that sophisticated, but you may find it. So, oh yes, sniff it, swirl it.
The smell. Oh my God, smells amazing. So I taste toasted. I definitely taste the toasted part, okay? And when you said berries, I'm like, of course I'm gonna smell berries, but I had to kind of dig a little bit for it. Probably wouldn't have pulled it out right away if you wouldn't have said it. It's very, I smell vanilla for some reason. Why do I smell vanilla?
Because it does have hints of vanilla.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So this is how I feel about wines. Yeah. Before I taste this, okay, I'm going to give a little bit more of a swirl, let it breathe. What I love so much about wine, especially red wine, is that you can really take your time and it's soothing for me. The notes in red wines, like really good red wines. And I remember the one red wine had like blackberry currant or something like that. It was very different. But this is really good. So hold on, let me plug this in before my computer dies on y'all. Hold on.
No problem. Let's get that done. We don't want to lose you.
I know, right? Like I gotta do a Jim Carrey move on y'all, the mask. So here we are with this beautiful glass, which I'm going to taste. And what should I be tasting? Oh wait, it does say hints of vanilla. Oh wait, you said that.
Got that hints of vanilla. Yes.
I didn't realize you said that. Oh man.
Yeah, our bottles are great because it gives you a lot of information right there on the label. So what do you think?
I love that. And it probably stuck in my head too because I was reading it. Yeah, I am. I know I'm keeping the suspense high, y'all. Just wait. But I want to try it real quick. Hold on. But this is one thing I do want to ask too. Oh, it smells so good. It's so fresh too. The winemaker, Isadora Frey. Is that so? You were telling me about the winemakers. Tell them about the winemakers. I think this is so interesting.
So, well, a little bit of background on ONEHOPE. I said ONEHOPE's been around 17 years. It was started by 6 friends. They are 3 men, 3 women. Our president is a woman. Our CEO is a man, and we are our vice president. So we've got 2 men, 2 women. But our winemaker, our head winemaker, Isadora. We do have a female head winemaker. Even our winemaker before her was a different woman. So we are very woman-centered. Most of the wine reps, most people like myself that are out here doing wine tastings, helping support nonprofits, most of us are women. There are, as we call it, are some sipsters, but most of us are sipster. We're mostly women out there. And we're like, well, sipsters out there. But it is a very women-centered business. At ONEHOPE, we're women in so many walks of life in this industry, in this particular, and especially in this winery, which is nice. And we're very supportive of each other.
That's what I really liked. I like that I saw a lot of that on the website. That was really encouraging, seeing the winemakers, reading about it. And then also, because I saw some things on, I just kind of looked up ONEHOPE and I was impressed by just the intention that goes into it, right? Like they have their own winery, and then you were telling me the back history of like how it started. And I want you to kind of share a little bit about that, because I'm going to tell you guys how this wine tastes, because I'm just tasting it. Don't worry about me. But I want Lorri to share that first.
So, okay, I'll tell you the best story that I was told when I joined is, as I said, it was 6 friends. They were all working at Gallo, and some knew each other beforehand, some met there. They were out in October stocking shelves, so everything was pink for breast cancer. Came back in November, it was all gone. And then he said, well, why aren't we giving back all year long? They felt that, we should support all these different great causes all year, not just 1 month out of the year. And that was where they came up with the idea for ONEHOPE wine. It was originally, they started selling it out of the back of their pickup truck at county fairs and things like that. And they were selling it in the back at a county fair one day, and a gentleman came over and was tasting the wine, and he handed his business card to Kristen, who is one of our vice presidents, and she had no idea who he was. And he just said, I really love your concept and what you're trying to do, but your wine needs a little bit of help. So give me a call. She took a look at the card, and it was Robert Mondavi Jr. So even from the beginning, we have had support from big name people in the wine industry like that. He has been behind ONEHOPE and helping them learn more about the winemaking aspect of the business and helping them make the connections they needed to get this off the ground, because he believes in what they're doing.
I love that story. And I think I love it every time you tell it, because it shows that when you show up, right? Like they were at the events, they were doing the work. And Robert Mondavi, of all people, y'all, I love me some Robert Mondavi, by the way. But he showed up, well, Robert Mondavi Jr. showed up and really just, as he saw promise in them, right? And that's what happens. A lot of people have to see where you are to understand where they can support you. So I really do love that story so much. Now, because Robert Mondavi was involved, that intrigued me so much more, because I was like, oh my God, that means that they have some stuff coming. They're not done yet. They're just getting started. And so I'm really empowered by it. And also I love the fact that it was 3 women that, started this thing with the dream and idea. And I don't know what kind of challenges they probably went through, but they were in college at that time, I believe you said. So,
I always tell people, like I know our president, I think it was a year ago or 2 years ago, was in one of the California magazines as one of the top 40 women, 40 women at 40. And so they were in their 20s when they started this.
In my 20s, child, I was not necessarily running the businesses like that. I was still figuring it out,
Yeah, no, I definitely
do I stay
didn't
in college?
have that like goal in my 20s. And you will actually see.
So okay, so kudos
name.
to the ladies, and I apologize if. Let's see, hold on. I think I'm a little delayed.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Lorri. I'm a little delayed. Hold on, I'll catch up. Go ahead.
No, I said you will see Robert Mondavi's name on some of our reserve red bottles. Like he is one of the winemakers involved in those wines.
Okay, so I hope you guys can hear me good. Otherwise, I'm going to flip over to my phone.
Gotcha now. So what do you think of the wine?
Keep it going. So I love it. So the wine, first of all, it's dark like I like. So when you talk about the flavors, it's exact. Like, I mean, the only flavor, because when you said toasted and then the berries, and I tasted that right away, toasted first. And then at the end, when I tasted that vanilla, and then I looked on the bottle and I didn't even hear you say it, I'm like, oh, wow. Like it's just so well blended, right? But then the taste of it doesn't necessarily taste like the scent. It's like, it tasted like sweet wood.
Okay.
It was like sweet wood. I don't know. That's just what comes up. I just say whatever comes to my mind. So that's what comes, but it's tasty. It's like, it's not too bold. Like it's not like dark and heavy.
It's a medium bodied. It's medium bodied. It wouldn't be too strong in that sense. It's not heavy. It's not really super dry. I mean, we do have dry, bolder cabs. This one is kind of more in the middle.
Yeah, I love it. So this is something I could drink, and I'm a wine drinker where I would like to pair with my meals. So what meals would I be able to pair this beautiful red to?
Well, we do say that it goes well with some blue cheese, some roasted beets, beet filet, and how about some baklava?
Baklava? I've never had baklava.
Baklava, it's a Greek dessert.
Oh, well then now we're gonna have to try it. I love trying new foods. I'm a foodie, so just imagine that. So I love that. So thank you for breaking that down, y'all. Listen, if you like medium-bodied wines that have these notes of like toffee and dark berries and vanilla, this was really a good experience. I'm actually going to share this tonight. I have people ready to drink with me. So I'm not going to drink this whole bottle by myself. I'm going to share it. And then hopefully I'm going to get some feedback from them, because I don't want them to drink all of my wine. I just want them to have a little bit.
You want to share?
But thank you for sending this, Lorri. And also, before we get more into you, because I want to hear more of your experience with the brand, and also let's talk about a little bit more about just some of the things we talked about in our one-on-one together. When we were talking about challenges, and when women are going through a lot in their lives, and the opportunities that present itself, and how we get through those opportunities and challenges. So I want to bring that up in a moment. But for now, what did I want to do? I wanted to do something real quick for you guys. We have this wine tasting coming up, and Lorri is going to be presenting the wine tasting, and it's virtual. So this is what's so important about this wine tasting. It's part of our garden party that we're having in Atlanta, but for anyone who wants to join virtually, you guys will be able to chime in. The only thing you need to do is grab your bottle. And we're showing you here on these Winedown WIN Wednesdays, like what the flavors are, so you don't have to guess, right? Because I looked on the website and I was like, I wonder what that tastes like. And we're going to introduce some flavors. And if you have like bottles that you see on the website that you like and you're not sure, I will buy the bottle and I will taste it for you. Okay. We will bring it back here to Winedown WIN Wednesdays, and we will let you see through my experiences. I will not listen. I will buy as many bottles as you need me to, and I will taste them for you.
We can do this for
and that
weeks
will give everyone an opportunity. Every day if you need to. But no, seriously, I want you guys to get yourself a bottle. Every bottle that you grab on the fundraising website, which we will drop here in this chat as well, with all of the beautiful different bottles that you guys have, especially the one that says the pink bottle. It was so cute. It was so cute. I was like, everybody.
Main character energy, the pink sparkly bottle. That's our. It was it was a campaign we were doing this year, again with women. What is your main character? What gives you your energy? What is the one thing about you? Is it ambition? Is it, what is your strength? And that's what they came out with, this like main character energy. It's on our sparkling rosé. It's a pink shimmer bottle. Mine's downstairs. I actually don't have one up in here right now. But yeah, so we do have these shimmer bottles that are beautiful with sparkling brut and gold and silver. And then the pink has sparkling rosé in it. And they have all different sayings on a lot of them. But that was our new one that was like main character energy. Like, what is your main character? Where do you feel you're getting your energy from? What's your strength? What drives you? There was a whole campaign we were doing for a while.
That's amazing. I really like the fact that that bottle, when I got it, I was like, what is this going to feel like? It's going to feel like hard glitter. Is it going to be rough? That bottle is smooth, baby. Like, it is smooth. It is nice and clean, and it's beautiful. So we're actually going to be giving that bottle away at the garden party. So for those of you who are coming, because we're pretty much almost full, guys, y'all gonna fight over this bottle. The bottle looks beautiful. So I want you guys to see it. Make sure you go to the Instagram channel and look at that, because we're posting that all over. But Lorri, now that we told them about the fundraiser, and make sure you guys get your bottle, okay? Because I'm gonna be watching, and we're gonna be posting about that so that you guys can join us and get your favorite, whatever that flavor is. And I bought another red wine blend, Lorri, that I want you to talk about at the end. This is a different one that you sent me, so we'll talk about that later. But let's get into something right now.
Okay, where do you want to go?
So when, we talk about some of the things that we go through and we grow through as women, and because we are presenting this in an essence to the garden party, the theme is Seed to Success, right? Which means that we're going from, the idea phase of anything, the beginning phase of whatever, and we're climbing that, not ladder, but we're going through that journey leading to our successes, because I don't think we're ever done. I think we're constantly winning, ongoing, and learning. So I want to just kind of hear, because we talked about some challenges, right, that we go through as women entrepreneurs, whether it's, and I call it the D's. And I say, it could be a death, it could be a divorce, it could be depression, right? And, these avenues that happen usually with women, because, and I think we were discussing, because we're the nurturers and we're naturally givers, right? That we fall into the place of always being at the foot of someone else's needs. But when it comes to our own needs, we don't necessarily get what we need. So I want to hear your thoughts about that.
Well, and as when we talked, I said I do also come from a different generation. I am considerably older.
I was going to bring that up.
Which I do think does make a difference, because I was particularly raised that I was supposed to be the caregiver. I wasn't supposed to be the entrepreneur. I was supposed to be the one behind the scenes to take care of everybody, and really everyone else's needs should come first. And I was that first generation where, well, why can't we do both? And having been raised by someone who didn't think you should be doing both, and wanting to raise children who knew they could do both. I have 2 grown daughters, and being that transition generation. So it is something that I think women are finding, and I find it wonderful to see, because having made this transition now from I was in sales. I was pharmaceutical sales for over 20 years. And that was only one of several careers I had prior to this. That women do now. There are so many groups like WIN out there. Women know that they should support each other. Women, and historically, I think, have always been like felt this need to almost put other women down to make them feel good. And I think they're starting to realize that's not what you need to do. We should all build each other up. And the more you build everyone else up, the better you are. I've always been the type that I said, I'm much better at teaching than I may be at doing. I'm a great teacher. I can help, I can train, I could do. And I always said I was a better teacher than I was in sales. I was a better trainer than maybe a salesperson. I was a good salesperson, but I could teach you to be a great salesperson. Because I care so much about everyone else's success and wanting everyone else to also do well. That's one of the things I love about ONEHOPE. Because of the structure, the way this company works, because we are a direct sales company, everybody wants to help everybody, because my being successful doesn't prevent you being successful. So we're all always there to build each other up. And that's what we should do as women. And unfortunately, I think that wasn't available to women even 20, 30 years ago, to the extent that I think women are starting to see it today.
Man, I was kind of trying to adjust the internet. Can you hear me good? I want to make sure. Oh, good. Okay. Can you see me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, perfect. So I love that you mentioned the fact that, there are differences when it comes down to women and how we connect, right? It all depends on, it depends on a lot of things. It depends on, your generation. It depends on your thinking. It depends on your experiences. And, I love how, and I'm not even going to mention age here, because I was like, how old are your daughters, Lorri?
It doesn't faze me in the least, so don't worry about it.
But it's amazing because, I love how, intentional you are about thinking about these things, and how, you're different from your daughters and from other women, but how, you're right. Like, support, I think, is such an action word. It's such a verb. Like, it's something that we don't necessarily need to just talk about, but we actually have to do. But I think that it's kind of come to a point, to your point that I always say this, women have only been in the workforce and independent for the last 50 years or so.
Maybe.
And like my mom, she paved that direction for me, but her struggles were different, right? Like she had to deal with some different stuff. And for me, that stuff didn't exist, and I was able to make different choices off of where, life was at the time I was born and what opportunities I had. But I think because we are ever growing and so quickly now, because now we're not just running companies, we're owning our own businesses and multiple businesses. And we are more financially stable within ourselves and more independent overall. So I think it's great that we get to kind of reignite that thinking of like, why do women not support each other as much when it comes to those things? And to your point, what comes up to me is it's just a conditioning. And we just have to relearn, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, we're not supposed to be against each other because that comes from somewhere. That has to come from somewhere.
Absolutely.
But I also let me get some wine because I have to clear my throat, y'all.
Go for it.
But I also want to lean more into the fact that because we need so much from each other, and if we open ourselves up to ask for help and support from each other, I think that we would fill our cups better, right? Because we're natural nurturers. But what about when we don't nurture each other, but then we give it away? Like, like when we give it away to people that don't deserve our energy, don't deserve our time. And I find that happens a lot, especially in my life. I've had that happen where I've given a lot of my energy to people that didn't deserve it. And I thought I was doing the right thing. Like I thought I just had a good heart. And, I was like, oh no, this is who I am. But honestly, deep down inside, I was like, this is kind of a lot. So what do you have to say about that? I guess that's more like setting boundaries.
Right? I get where you're coming from because I will be it's funny. I give me a much of an age, but yes, I'm a lot older, and there's a lot of things that I have tried to make my one daughter, who is unfortunately way too much like me, and I see she has the faults that I wish she did not have that are mine, because I know. So, and I even have seen it in a couple of friends that I made in recent years who, are starting out. They have young children, and I have this one girlfriend who gets very upset when she felt people were maybe excluding her or they were talking about her behind her back and things like that. And I said, you know what? It took me way too long to learn this lesson. They're not important. They are not your people. And you need to find the ones that are going to be true to you. You can't worry about what everyone else is saying and doing. You need to find the people that are actually there to build you up, to work with you, and not the ones that are knocking you down, and just move forward. We have to stop internalizing everything. Like, you gotta just not let everything get to you, because it says more about them than it does about you when they're that type of person. But it took me way too long to learn that.
I'm like, okay, so I want you to kind of educate us, because Lorri, you have a background and people have not gotten to know enough about you yet. We're going to dig in because this is just our first Winedown and WIN Wednesdays. And I know Lorri is our rep to make sure that we get you guys the support you need when you're buying your bottles of ONEHOPE wine, because they're exclusive. You can't just go to any liquor store and get these bottles. Okay. You got to get them through us and Lorri. Yep. But I'm telling you, when you're talking about, challenges, I want to hear, do you have anything that comes up for you that's like similar to an example of what you mean by like setting those boundaries? Like maybe there was a time where you had to like set boundaries and it was hard. What did you do?
Well, I think for me, and I probably to some degree still am, I am a people pleaser. I do, and I'm always worried way too much about what everyone else thinks. And sometimes to the detriment of how it's impacting me and affecting me. And would always be like, why am I being the one left out? Why did this happen? Why, everyone else seems to be doing okay. They're all getting together over here, but why didn't they ask me to do it? And it took me a while to sort of realize that, okay, maybe that it's just, you have to really, I had a couple of, like, I know in particular, I'm thinking of just one friend. There was never an issue. It just became that point where I finally said, I can't be the only one working at this relationship. So we've just drifted apart because it was always me making the effort. And I finally realized, well, she has time to make the effort for everyone else, but not for me. So, okay. There was never a fight. There's no ill will. If I ever saw her, connected with her again, I would still be very happy for her, whatever. But I don't need to feel that I am not good enough. I might as well be with people who fill my cup. I'm entitled. I deserve that. But again, it took me way too long to realize that. So I try to help people I've met who are much younger to realize that faster.
Okay, Lorri, and the TED Talk. Okay, I love it because it's right. Like,
said I'm really good at teaching. Maybe not doing, but teaching. Very good.
Mean, you lived it. You did it. You lived it. You put up the boundary. You told you basically just said to yourself, like, this is not worth it. I believe life is about choices. Like, it always is. Like, what? Because we make choices, good and bad, and they're all coming from us. And if we have people in our life, we allowed them to be there. Like, I had the same, and I'll tell y'all about a boundary, because I'm not just gonna put Lorri in the spot like that. Okay, I'm gonna tell y'all about a situation where you probably heard it in the book if you read the Winning Women Trials of Triumph book. If you guys got that, I told a story about my past relationship and how I just kept going in that relationship, kind of knowing like this might not be that great. And, sometimes you have to realize that, like, I think you said something about like the people pleasing and how that led you to want to do stuff for this person or, be there in a way where they didn't even ask you. And that's kind of what I came to terms with too. Like in my relationship, y'all, I was like, he ain't even stunting for me. So, so I had to like actually come to terms with that in my last relationship, that maybe I'm doing all the work and maybe that's not serving me. And so making a choice to say, and yes, I wish I would have learned it earlier too, right? But I think the beautiful part of it is that we learned. Like, when I hear Les Brown, talk about things like people die with their dreams in a grave or, unfinished business and stuff like that. I like the fact that I get to, say that, yeah, I didn't get where I wanted to get at that point that I wanted to earlier, but so what? Like, I'm here, and you being able to be an example though of those boundaries, I think is classic. And then also, how do your girls receive it? Like, do they listen?
My daughters?
Yeah, like when you tell them stuff like
I think they hear it. Some of it they have to still learn on their own. It's very funny. Like my husband and I, some of the biggest differences, he is one of the most self-confident people I've ever met. And he's one of those people that, you don't like me the way I am, that's your problem, then I don't need you. He's very, where me, I've got pretty much the most insecure person you could probably ever meet. And I have one daughter who is just like I am and one who's just like he is. The one who is just like him literally will look at myself and my other daughter go, I wish I could give you some of my confidence. I wish you guys could, because she knows we're really good on the outside, but we're not so good on the inside. But they listen. I will give them both that. I'm very, very fortunate. I have, teenage years are teenage years, but both girls are grown, married, and have children of their own. And we have really good relationships now. And I even see the difference with a lot of my other friends who have children in the way that our girls come to us for advice. They know we know more than they do about certain things. They still want our approval on things that sometimes I really look at them and say, you don't need my approval. You're an adult. You can take care. You can do whatever you want right now. It's your life. Yeah, but I don't want you to be disappointed in me. You know, those, and so we do still go through that sometimes, but there are things that I think we all have to make our own mistakes and learn on our own. And no matter what we may or may not tell them, you can't stop them. You can't stop someone from making those mistakes. You have to let them live their life. I guess my biggest thing there is like my older daughter is divorced and remarried, and I pretty much knew before they even got engaged this was not going to work. But I told her what my concerns were, and she told me she understood, but she thought it was all stuff she could handle. I said, okay, fine. Then if you can, and that's what you want. I knew I supported her through it all. But at the end, yeah, we were all right. But she had to go through it and find out for herself. But I said, but you know what? You wouldn't have your son. I wouldn't have my grandson. You wouldn't really be who you are now if you didn't go through that. So you wouldn't be ready for the man you met now and be where you are now. So, I mean, sometimes we do have to go through those things. I can't hear you now if you're talking.
Nope, not talking. Not on there. Hold on.
Oh, wait.
Get this down.
Are you on? Okay, you just switched.
Are you on? Okay, you just switched. I thought I silenced it. I'm sorry, y'all.
That's okay.
So I switched over because I felt like there was a huge delay in the last one. I couldn't focus on you, Lorri. I gotta focus on Lorri because you were going in on, the fact that your daughters have this amazing relationship with you now. And I think that it's beautiful because, like, all I'm thinking is your daughters must love you because you bring home so much good wine. That's all I'm thinking. Like they obviously just, despite all of it, like they gotta love their mama. And I love the fact that you guys have this opportunity to build on a relationship where, even as you were saying before, like you learned a lot of things, and you wish you would have learned earlier, but maybe if you learned earlier, you might not have been, you might have had the lessons, right, that you needed at this time, to teach your daughters and them receive it the way that they need to. So I'm excited because I love hearing about your story. So we talked a lot about, the ONEHOPE wine. We got to know more about Lorri, y'all. So I wanted to make sure that we did all of that. And also, y'all, listen, my phone, I'm trying to hold this thing up, y'all. So I'm going to turn it back because I don't like holding it. Okay, so what I do want to do now is I want to actually, Lorri, did you go away? Did I go away?
No, here, I see you.
Okay, good. So I want us to, first of all, Lorri, I'm going to let you give people a chance to get into what you have going on, because you had a couple of things that you told me on the back end where when women are going through a lot, or when they're not going through a lot and they just want to have something to be a part of that really, like from your standpoint, you really love this brand. It has really fueled you and allow you to make change, difference in other people's lives. So tell us a little bit about the opportunities, because how can women get into this opportunity with you if they were interested in, selling the wines or, being part of the membership? Like what kind of things are going on right now?
Okay, so for those who are not at all familiar with ONEHOPE, we are a direct sales company. So, and pretty much everything we do are private wine tastings along the lines of what we're doing here. They could be virtual or in person. They are in, we have wine club. We also do a lot of custom gifting. So that pretty pink shimmer bottle that we were talking about before, we also do it custom where people can put their own logos and things like that on if they needed gifts for their businesses and things along that lines. But what I have found that I have loved about this company even more than the wine is great is I love the fact that everything we do is give back. So we're all doing fundraising. I have been able to associate and learn about nonprofits that I didn't even know existed. I've been able to help support nonprofits I didn't know existed. And in doing that, I have met women that I know would not have been part of my life if it wasn't for ONEHOPE, and has made me a better person at this point in my life because it's expanded my horizons in ways, I'm not just isolated to my community and women my age. I've got a much more diverse social circle of people and people who are so supportive of each other that I know I could reach out to at any time for help with whatever I'm doing with my business. And we're actually doing this phenomenal deal right now, this month of April. They just launched that we have a special join promotion. And the way it is to join ONEHOPE right now, it's $79 instead of the $199 it usually is. And you'll get the first three, but you'll get 3 bottles of wine automatically, which is for you to share with your friends. So you can start sharing wine and let people get to know ONEHOPE. You also get what we call our credit for a host kit, which is 6 bottles of wine, like the 6 bottles of wine that I sent to Allegra, that you can use with a tasting to introduce to somebody new and do like your first fundraising wine tasting event. And all different kinds of printed materials. We get nice little books to explain everything. Believe me, I don't know that much about wine, but I'm learning. We learn more daily. I tell people, I may not know it, but I got great people behind the scenes that do, and they'll answer all my questions. But it's just such a wonderful community. It is, and everybody just is constantly lifting you up and wanting to cheer you on and help you do as much or as little as you want to do. And that, I think, is the other nice thing about ONEHOPE. There's no, oh, you have to do this, or, there's like, a lot of direct sales companies have minimums, have quotas and things like that. No, you can work as hard as you want. If you're looking to just make a little extra money to maybe pay for a kid's sports team, or to be able to go get your nails and toes done an extra time every month, fine, that's great. You want it to be more, you want it to help plan for vacation, and you want to save for that, or you want to save for car payments, it can be that. It can be as much or as little as you want it to be, but you're still going to be part of a group of people that care about you. So I do love it. I really, really enjoyed it. And I'm not sure I thought I would feel this way when I made the decision to try it 4 years ago.
Of course you didn't. Nobody knows how they're going to feel like down the line, but I think that's just part of why we take the leap of faith and we go after what we love and what we want to do. Um, Listen, I think it's amazing that people get a chance to not only buy wine to drink, but you can also sell it at the same time and make money.
I mean, some people join just to be able to get their own wine and make money on the wine they buy for themselves.
To partner with Lorri as well, right? It's not necessarily always about just, the wine itself. Is about changing lives. Like, I was very impressed by the fact that these young ladies in college decided that charity was the way to go. I mean, it's a great business model. I'm not going to knock them at all. I'm just looking at the business part and the marketing side of it, because I'm like, that is amazing. You're going to constantly change people's lives for the rest of your life while you're in business. And so I appreciate you sharing that. I also want you to share about the other wine that I brought before we get off. And then we're going to talk just a little bit more about the wine tasting, because you guys can join us virtually, buy your bottle, donate to WIN, and then taste wines.
You're breaking up a little to me. Sorry. I'm only catching part of what you're saying. You want me to? I'll talk about the red blend. So we'll do that. Okay. So the wine you have there is actually our newest collection. It is part of our, what we call our field to table collection. It's a Central Coast California red blend. What is actually kind of unique about it, and it is the only one we have in this field. I know I keep saying collection, but it's the only one there yet. The plan is to expand the collection, and we will have other wines in this collection. We did just get told there's probably going to be 3 new wines coming out soon, but I don't know how soon, and I don't know what they'll be. They don't tell us anything until the last second. But this red blend is a combination of, it's got Pinot Noir, Cabernet, and a Petit Verdot grapes in it. So it's a blend of those. So it's a very balanced and smooth red blend. It is also a medium-bodied, off-dry red wine. It has some dark cherry, oak, spices, even some leather, and dried rose petals is where the tasting notes all come from in that. And it goes great with a nice cheese and nut board, some mushroom sausage soup, or squash risotto. Now, I say all of those things with like a little grain of salt, because I always tell people I can tell you what it pairs well with, but if you don't like any of those foods, it doesn't really matter to you. It pairs with whatever you will enjoy pairing it with. But what's also unique, if I don't know when Allegra was showing the bottle, you could see it, but there's a little QR code on those labels. And if you scan the QR code on the labels on this field to table collection, as each one comes out, it takes you to a link where there is a little video of our winemaker talking about the wine and the inspirations for it, as well as some recipes that will eventually become part of a ONEHOPE cookbook that's going to be dealt with all the seasons of the year. And we talk about wine seasons. There are 8, because you got the regular 4 seasons plus your seasons for harvesting, picking, growing, and things like that. So there are recipes that you can get by scanning the QR code on that bottle. So that's what I can tell you about that. I'm also, just really quick, while Allegra's working on her stuff there, I've been drinking our sparkling brut, which I know Allegra has over there also. Or maybe the Prosecco. I'm not sure. Actually, yeah, she has a sparkling brut also. But our sparkling brut also comes in these mini bottles that come by the case, and you can get them in these little minis, which worked out perfect for me tonight because it gave me my 1 glass of wine just for me. So I didn't have to open a whole bottle and worry about it. I was able to get my glass of wine and join you. And I do love sparkling wine. So.
Oh, man. I'm so sorry, y'all. I'm having difficulty. I'm around the airport, planes flying over. So listen, Lorri, we're pretty much done with the live stream anyway. Thank you for joining me for the Winedown WIN Wednesday. Guys, come back next Wednesday so we can dig more into some more of these wines. I have a whole box of wines, and I'll be ordering more for you guys. I want you to go to the website, okay? I will drop the website in the chat. Once the live is done, you'll have access to Lorri. You'll have access to the offers. You'll have access to the fundraiser. It's also located in our WIN Fundraiser Facebook group and our Women's Networking WIN groups. Now, I will encourage you guys, because this was really good, Lorri, and I'm going to finish this. I'm also going to share tonight. So even though I have the whole bottle, which I wish I could have to myself, I will share. And I will also, yeah, I'm going to have to order another bottle. But for next week, guys, this is what I'm going to tell you guys to do. Do me a big favor and just let me know which wine you want to try out next week. Go to the website, select a wine, even if it's the main character wine, like tell me now, because it will give me at least a week to get it in. Hopefully, is that enough time, Lorri? If they tell me like tonight what wine that they like and I can order it, will they?
It should be. And we say it takes longer, but
Okay.
there's a good chance if you have a full week, it should be there. But I can't predict FedEx sometimes. That's all.
It's okay. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If you guys have a favorite wine, if it doesn't make it by next week, then I will order it for the week after. And, this is if you're like curious about the wine. If you love wine like me and you're just like, I love a good Cabernet Sauvignon, go just order it. This was excellent. Thank you so much, Lorri. Any final words for the audience before we leave? Any words of encouragement or anything you'd like to leave us with?
Just, I am always available. So you'll be able to reach to me through any of the groups too. You can message me. I will be more than glad to answer any questions. We have a wine club that can also help you guys out. If anybody really doesn't really love their wine, it's a great deal. And I'll be able to answer any questions along those lines. But we can go, grab some bottles of wine and let's keep doing this and support WIN while we're doing it.
Support these women, y'all. And listen, my tongue, when you get that like right there in the back of your tongue, and it's like the flavors are all there. It's so good. Thank you, Lorri. You guys reach out to her. And we'll see you guys next week on Winedown and WIN Wednesdays. Bye.
Bye.